this video, I'm going to talk about using a problem solving plan. The method I'm going to use is called C.U.B.E.S, which means circle the numbers, underline the question, box the keywords, eliminate extra information, or evaluate what steps do I take, solve, and check. We're going to apply this to an example. You run in a city where the short blocks on a north-south streets are 0.1 mile long. The long blocks on east-west streets are 0.15 mile long. We'll run 2 blocks east, a number of short blocks south, 2 long blocks west, then back to your starting point. You want to run 2 miles. How many short blocks should you run? So let's start circling our key numbers. So 0.1 miles is a key number. 0.15 miles is another important number. 2 long blocks east, 2 long blocks west, a number of short blocks south, and you want to run a total of 2 miles. So now we're going to box in our key information. The north-south blocks, they're also short blocks. The long blocks, we want to run 2 long blocks east, a number of short blocks south, 2 long blocks west, then back to your starting point. You want to run 2 miles, and our question is, how many short blocks should you run? So we run 2 long blocks east and 2 long blocks west. That's for a total of 4 long blocks. So our equation we want to know is how many short blocks we should run. So we should do S plus our long blocks are 0.15 miles, so 0.15 parentheses 4 equals, you want to run a total of 2 miles equals 2. So next we want to do 0.15 times 4, which would be 0.6. Next, we're going to subtract 0.6 from both sides. So we get a total of S equals 1.4. If we're checking, if we plug in 1.4 plus 0.6, that indeed gives me 2. So our correct answer is, we ran 1.4 short blocks, and we are done. Example 2. You're making a leather book cover. You need a rectangular piece of leather as shown. Find the cost of the piece of leather if the piece of leather costs 20 cents per square inch. So we'll circle our 20 cents, and we want to know the cost of the piece of leather. So first thing we know, it's a rectangular piece of leather. So one thing we do know about rectangles, area equals length times width. So this is the picture of our book cover. So the width we can see easily. The width equals 11, but we have to do some work to find our length. So we have from one page to the next, it looks like we have 8.15. So there's 8.15 times 2. And then we have our spine, which is 0.337. So we're going to add that. 8.5 times 2 plus 0.337. And that gives me 17.337. So now we can find our area. So we plug everything in. 17.337 times 11. And that gives me an area of 190.707 square inches. But the problem is asking me about how much the leather cost. So to find the price, we need to multiply the 0.20 for the cost of leather by the area. And that gives me a total cost of $38.14 for the cost. So the book cover cost costs $38.14. And we're done. Example 3. One day, the temperature in Rome, Italy was 30 degrees Celsius. Let's circle that. The temperature in Dallas, Texas was 83 degrees Fahrenheit. Which temperature was higher? So recall our formula for converting from Celsius to Fahrenheit is C equals 5/9 F minus 32. So we see that Rome, Italy was already in Celsius. So we're going to plug in our temperature for Dallas, Texas. So we have 5/9 parentheses 83 minus 32. We plug this into a calculator and we find our answer. So 5/9 parentheses 83 minus 32 equals 28.3. And we're being asked which temperature was higher. This is Dallas, Texas, recall. So we can answer, since we know Rome was 38 degrees, the temperature in Rome was higher. And we are done.